Aloha, friends and family. This is Terrell speaking. Welcome back to our little podcast show. Today we're going to talk about Ola Koʻolauloa, our recent BYU Hawaii play that happened in our McKay Auditorium. It's one of the best plays ever because it's designed for children, and it's super fun to just be together with children and interact with them. Anyway, with a little context, I have our special guest here today. Her name's Tenille. And Tenille, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tenille Nagareda Reuben. I played the character Lā'iekawai in our play Ola Koʻolauloa, and it was awesome. Thank you for having me today. I'm so excited to share more about my experience.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity to talk to our wonderful star here because she's the main character of the whole story.
That is correct. I
mean, yeah. So tell us a little bit about the story. I mean, I talked about it a little bit, but what do you know about the story?
Yeah, so the play, the story as a whole, it basically focuses around Lā'iekawai, and it follows her as she goes through these different moʻolelo. Moʻolelo is the Hawaiian word for story, and she goes through these different moʻolelo and learns more about herself, more about her culture, and especially about the land around Laie known as Koʻolauloa. That's why it's called Ola Koʻolauloa. These different stories tell her who she is and where she comes from. And is it okay if I tell the ending?
Yeah, just tell whatever you need.
Okay, so the ending part, so at the end, right, she realizes that this was all a learning lesson. At first, she thinks that it's just a fun, crazy adventure that she goes on. And then she realizes that it was her tūtū, her grandma, who gave her this experience and allowed her to go and view all these different moʻolelo as a person within the moʻolelo. She wasn't just a bystander, but she was actually interacting with the characters. She was right there as the story was taking place. And it gives her a perspective that's different from just reading a story or hearing about it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, basically, Tenille described the whole story. So sorry if you guys haven't watched it.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yeah. So throughout the story, for me and you, because we are the cast of the whole play itself, we know what's the sequence and the progress. And we know there's a lot of characters that's in there. There's Terrell was playing Makua Kaumana. And then some of us got to be the mo'o, the giant lizard, the sharks, and a shark, not sharks. And I got to be an ulu tree as well. And then some of us got to be a little river and all that. And even, what's the other one? I got to be the chicken. Yes, that's the most important part.
Yeah. Love them.
Yes. And also all the other characters. There's Kane and Kanaloa and what's that mo'o's name? Lā'ielohe, right?
Lā'ielohe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There we go. So in this whole play, I was able to learn a lot of Hawaiian words. So
Mai kai.
Yeah, mai kai. Yeah, that's the other one that I've been using every day so far. So yeah, just that's the context. It's such a wonderful play because for me as a Malaysian, I'm still quite new to this, and I think it was a great opportunity for me to learn not only the language but also the legends, the myths, and the stories you were told when you were a kid, right, Tenille? So yeah. Anyways, back to our actual topic. So you being the star of the show, what was your experience like as an actress, and what made the difference, or what acting choices did you make that made the play so powerful and impactful?
Honestly, okay, so first of all, this was my first lead role in a BYU Hawaii production. I've been in every BYU Hawaii oh my gosh, sorry. It's weirdly hearing your voice.
Yeah.
I've been in the productions here on campus, but it was so different because as a lead, I felt a lot of pressure to do the best, to do my best, to kind of be that point for the rest of the crew, for the rest of the ensemble to be on their A game. And then on top of that, this is a Hawaiian story. And so I wanted to do my best that way, representing my culture. Maybe for some people, this would be the only exposure they've had to Hawaiian culture in plays or in theater. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I have to represent not only myself as a person, but my culture. And I think that can be sometimes detrimental. We shouldn't generalize. If I see you as a Malaysian, I'm not going to think, oh, all Malaysians are tall and have beautiful skin and are so handsome.
Oh,
you know,
you.
and as a Hawaiian, they shouldn't look at me and be like, oh, this is what Hawaiian is, you know. This is one person as a Hawaiian. But yeah, just having to deal with those two factors. And then but it was just an honor it was to represent my culture in this way. In high school, I went to a private Hawaiian school, and we always put on Hawaiian culture themed plays. And so to be able to do this in my college experience was a huge blessing.
That's great answer. Like if it reassures you, Tenille, you're a great actress. Like
Thank you. Oh, thank
like
you.
we've, just so you know, guys, we've been in productions for like a couple of times now, like 3 shows now,
Yeah.
at least for us. And Tenille is an amazing actress. Like she makes perfect acting choices. Well, I won't say perfect, but to me it's perfect. To others' eyes, it's also very perfect. And
Thank you.
just no worries. And I think, like what you said before, representation matters. And do you feel like doing this play has helped you to be more represented as a Hawaiian culture and the story itself? Do you think?
I think here at BYU Hawaii, yes. In general, probably not, because we didn't reach such a big audience.
Yeah.
But I always think that representation in the arts is huge. It really makes people want, right? Everybody loves entertainment. And so if they see something of your culture in that, they're going to learn more. And so it's going to bring the culture more exposure. But I don't know. Yes, definitely on campus. I do remember. So one scene in our play, right, talks about the demigod Kamapua'a. And this is something that's pretty sacred to Hawaiians, his birth at least. And well, actually take the part out. I don't know. For me, in my educational experience in Hawaiian culture, that's not something that you would laugh about. You wouldn't laugh about a culture's demigod.
Yeah.
However, when Hina gives birth to Kamapua'a and everybody sees a pig, the crowd just roars, you know, and that is, I mean, it was inappropriate. It wasn't what, as a Hawaiian, the reaction you would want the audience to have.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
because they don't know, right? They don't know our culture. Of course, they would find it funny that a human woman gave birth to a pig. Like, it would be humorous, but that wasn't the reaction that we would want as Hawaiians. But even to expose other people to our culture in that manner is a big step forward.
Exactly. And if anything, it's educational, right? People will
Totally.
learn about this. And even if they don't find it funny, they'll know that this is part of the story. And I think that's very important for representation. So we're running out of time. But no, you're good. Those are wonderful answers. And thank you for just answering perfectly, if anything.
Oh, thank you.
In my opinion, at least. So my last question would be like, as an actress playing Lā'iekawai in the story for Ola Koʻolauloa, what was your favorite part? And that being your favorite part, would you like want to do it again, kind of thing? Or what impressed you the most?
I really liked the moments where I got to ask the audience questions. That's not something that you find usually in theater, right? It's something maybe in TV or film, but this play was very interactive, especially with a young audience, and I loved that. I am currently studying elementary education, so I work with kids all day long, and it's so fun to see them engaged and interested and looking at you and looking at all the other characters and just answering so eagerly. And that was an awesome experience to have, something I've never had before in theater.
Yeah, that's a very, very cool experience for me too. Like for me, like you know my scene, I was playing as Makua Kaumana. So right at the end of the scene, I was supposed to jump. And then when I jump, I asked everybody, well, first it's Tenille will be saying like, everybody just shout Lele. And then I'll be like, I can't hear. I pretend I can't hear. But I was also pretending that I'm at a really, really high hill. Then I can't hear anybody and everything. So at the end of the last show, all the kids were just shouting, Lele, Lele. And I'm like, I was about trying to deliver my lines, but it looks like I wasn't going to.
They were so loud.
Yeah, but it was
like,
cool.
It was wonderful. It was so great.
It's one of the best experiences, if anything. Like, I think BYU Hawaii does give that. Oh, if anything, I would shout out to Kristl Densley, our director and professor.
Absolutely.
For that. Like, she did a lot of research for this. Without her doing all of this and making the script as well and directing us, then we wouldn't be able to do all of this, right?
100%.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, it's also our Dean Alohalani Housman.
Mm-hmm.
She also made a mele, not made, like she wrote and sang the mele for us to listen and to sing. So that's quite important to know. So without all of these things, the play would have not happened. And going back to representation would have not happened as well. So
Yep.
yeah. But that's the show for us. Thank you so much for listening. Do you have any last words, Tenille?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out. It means a lot to us performers. We put in a lot of hard work, effort, hours, time. And so when people do come and watch our performance and appreciate what we do, it's a huge honor. It's so awesome to see the crowd in live time interact and have a reaction to what we're performing. So thank you.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Tenille. These plays does help us to increase our confidence, and it does help the people of not knowing theater as much. They can also learn a little bit more and then just be engaged of the play and everything else. Yeah. So I think that's all for the episode. Thank you so much for being in the show, Tenille.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So that'll be all. Thank you so much for listening and wish you all the best, friends. And come watch more of our shows in the future if you come to BYU Hawaii. So yeah. Okay. Much mahalo and aloha.
Aloha.